So the JP Dokkan player base had given the Dokkan devs some really good questions that I feel like should be covered in a separate video with direct translations. So in the initial fan meetup breakdown video I did, we did have some, more or less, we had live translations done by Garth that I did end up live tweeting. However, now Garth sat down and listened to the full, stream without any of us, talking in the background or anything, so he can get the full details and context of each of these questions and what exactly they mean. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about them here. We'll see kind of like what the JP player base is thinking, what they want from the game, and how that correlates to us. Again, some of these questions were asked were really, really good. So let's just hop right into it. Again, Grass said you thought it would be helpful to create a thread with complete translations for everything about not only the voting results, but the questions and answers / request section. So that's very good to see. Let's talk about here. A vote was held both at the fan meeting itself for those attending in person and within the online area within the Battle Hour app. There are two questions asked. See the voting results and accompanying producer comments below. What are you most concerned with during fights with difficult enemies? So 20% asked, answered, I keep saying asked, oh my goodness. 20% answered, making use of critical hits and additional attacks to defeat the enemy quickly with offensive power. 48% actually did answer in a way that I would personally agree with, making use of things such as defensive raises, damage reduction, and guard to defeat the enemy carefully. So about half of the players that were not only voting but were actually in the fan meetup did vote that they prefer to take a defensive stat over the 20% voting to take an offensive strategy right there. Utilizing both offense and defense while playing each character's strength to defeat the enemy. I mean, maybe that one's a little closer to me, but if I had to choose one, defense is definitely the way to go. I don't care about either. It doesn't matter as long as the enemy is defeated. So I guess, sometimes some people may run a defensive build. Sometimes they may run an offensive build. They're either or, but I feel like that kind of, it's a little bit of the same, these last two here. So I can see why they're evenly split like that. But I think this is pretty interesting to see the JP player base, little ways to play. I guess there's no extra comments under this one. Okay, that's fine. So this one is just an extra one. Which one gives the biggest feel-good moments? It seems most people play about the voice animations. So, let's say active skills and entrance animations, which is obviously makes a lot of sense because having the voices in game just takes it to a whole other level. People like Dokkan OST, defeating a strong enemy, and then 24% actually. When I'm able to use the various skills and effects to play exactly how I want. I'm not too sure what they mean by that, but I guess it's just like, having free restrictions or being able to use active skills that are restricted. Maybe I'm not sure. Let me know. Was this an actual? Okay, there's an actual one. With the current environment of the game, not surprising, most people are gravitating towards defense due to how hard a lot of bosses hit for. So this is the comment that Omatsu gave, huh? Interesting. Okay. Right now for Dokkan, we feel that our animations have been receiving high praise. We have the addition of voices with the... Okay, is this with? Yeah, with the addition of voices on top of those animations, we're able to recreate scenes from the series that resonate with a lot of people. I definitely agree. There's a lot of scenes that they do very, very well that were represented in the series. Especially during these major celebrations, right? Okay, in-person attendees had an opportunity to submit either questions or requests to the producer. The images below outline these questions or requests along with the responses here. So this one is, requesting, why is the Ultimate Red Zone limited to only 3 attempts per day? After pulling new characters, you really want to test out their abilities, but these limitations act as a bottleneck. I want you to implement a high difficulty event that do not have these kind of restrictions. Now, Omatsu's answer here. It's as though a lot of people feel similarly to the person who submitted this question. However, we are not currently considering the removal of these restrictions from a general standpoint. On the other hand, we're considering relaxing these restrictions a bit during special campaigns such as the anniversary. I'll be sure to discuss this with the development team. So what I'm assuming for this is let's say, I'm trying to think of a situation, how during the weekend we have the 5 boosts and then the lower stamina like, you know, or like during anniversary we have like lower stamina recharge time, we have the quicker boost recovery time. I feel like maybe that kind of thing where, like, let's say during anniversary you could do 5 attempts on the Wicked Bloodline red zone, or like let's say the Red Ribbon Army red zone during the anniversary you could do 7 attempts, something like that, where during these specific, you know, or even unlimited attempts, right? Like how we saw during the hero celebration, the heroes red zone, although it was of course limited to just that celebration, it was unlimited attempts, right? So something like that I feel could be really interesting. Maybe even during certain theme celebrations, like if we get like a new cell, you know, like a perfect cell, maybe that specific Red Ribbon Army red zone does get more attempts added to it, like, you know, instead of 5 it's 6 or 7, right? Like I said, so that could be pretty interesting. At the very least, it'll allow us to have situations where there's not always a restrictive, you know, 3 times a day. I feel like there's 2 reasons why it's like that. One, it's to allow, I guess, let's say you fail all 3 times a day, you're like, well, I gotta log in tomorrow, right? Just to keep people logging in, I guess. And then a second thing will be artificial difficulty, in a sense where you can't really just retry over and over a billion times until RNG goes your way. Like in one day, you just can't sit down for like 10 hours if you really want and just keep trying until you get a specific run and specific perfect RNG. They don't really want people to do that, probably, right? Okay, here's the next one right here. Are they currently... Wait, did I skip one? No, okay. Let's just click in here. Are there currently any plans to implement anything past Extreme Z Awakening? I believe you referenced this possibility in a survey that we put out at an earlier point. Let me actually do this here. So that might be why we received this question. We're unsure at this time whether or not we're going to be implementing something like this. We understand there are a lot of characters who have already received their Extreme Z Awakenings and cannot keep up with the current environment of the game, and therefore are in need of help of some way. However, if we do implement a mere extension of the EZA system to help these characters, the same cycle will inevitably repeat down the line, so we're currently trying our best to think of a more long-term solution to this issue. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because if they'd simply add just like an extra like 8th step to the Extreme Z Awakening, where it's like, okay, after this 8th step, they're easy again. It's like, okay, eventually they're just gonna end up becoming aged again, which, you know, then they would have to add another step and another step. And the easier way that they could do this is, let's say they make, like, so the equipment system, they could definitely expand upon that. I feel like we all feel the same way. What if there's a character that gets, what if we get like an extra slot in the equipment system, or even just a gold slot, and it's like, okay, if you equip this unit with this specific equipment, they get extra, like even a new passive or extra attack and defense or something like that, where, okay, it does buff these characters, especially these older characters, and then it allows you to kind of move around with that. Maybe if you can retroactively buff them in the future, so you don't have to keep adding a new EZA step every time that you want to rebuff these characters. You can just simply put in a little equipment, like how Legends does its unique equipment. It could be a unique equipment for Dokkan characters. I think that would be a really good idea if they want to take something that route. Maybe I should even leave that in a feedback form myself one day. But I think that would be a good idea if they don't want to kind of repeat itself, where it's like, okay, this character's easy again, now they can never become good again, right? Equipment, I feel like, is a lot more flexible with that. Maybe in their eyes as well. Alright, let's see here. I personally think it's been nice that you've been releasing non-main characters such as Vidal, Yamcha, Ginyu, etc. as Dokkan Fest exclusives. Are there any plans to continue this moving forward here? Now, they say that yes, they have plans to continue doing this. We're interested in hearing directly from the players what aspects of these less popular, in quotes, characters are most liked, between their animations, kit, you know, maybe even their leader skills, something, etc., right? So they just want to hear from us what we like about these characters, so that they can help focus on those characters more, to, I guess, provide more enjoyable, you know, versions of, like, you know, again, Vidal, Yamcha, Ginyu, even Raditz, right? So this is pretty good. I think that I do like this question, because it is helpful that these characters are finally getting representation that they do not have in game. I mean, Dokkan Fest Yamcha, I would have probably picked a better version of Yamcha for Dokkan Fest, but they probably just really hate OG Dragon Ball, or don't think that it could be really done as like main Dokkan Fest besides Kid Goku that one time, but who knows, right? Are you guys considering the addition of a function that would allow us to fight together with our friends, even through online functionality? The current friend system provides very little in the area of connecting people, and it almost feels like a waste here. So, what he said was there are a lot of areas that we're considering improvement for as far as the friend system goes. The concept of playing with friends in an online game vastly differs depending on the individual. Do you view the friends you play with online as family, normal friends, or just short-term acquaintances? This is like, I guess, again, that's fair. Like, how do you view your specific friends on the friends list? I feel like, yeah, okay, anyways, this will determine the best way to move forward with changes to the system in Dokkan, as we want to make the most suitable changes for our players as we plan for the years ahead. We look forward to receiving more feedback from our players as we continue to release surveys in the future. So, again, they keep talking about leaving feedback. Leaving feedback is very important. Some people say that leaving feedback doesn't do anything. Leaving feedback is very important for the game. Please leave your good feedback, constructive criticism feedback even. Don't leave nothing burgers, right? Or like complaining, basically. So that's good. I mean, co-op in the game would be very interesting, but I feel like a lot of these answers you could tell probably are just like, maybe, we're thinking about it, right? It's like a lot of non-answers, obviously. They don't really confirm a lot of things specifically, but there are some things that do get confirmed. I mean, yeah, this one specifically is one that's kind of like, okay, gives us a direct answer finally. I want you guys to add a ceiling that would guarantee new characters on their debut banner once hit. Now, I feel like a lot of people were already talking about this. Look at the quotes here. I didn't open this. As a player myself, I completely understand where this person's coming from, Yaomatsu, okay. I understand that in other titles, certain pity systems exist, where it's possible to acquire the newest character on the debut banner after performing a set amount of summons, a ceiling, or what we call pity. In Dokkan, we have the gacha coin system, and we feel this is currently sufficient. Therefore, we have no current plans to introduce a pity system where players would be able to guarantee a new character on their debut banner. A lot of times, gachas add pity as a form to earn more money, and I feel like even if Dokkan added a pity, depending on how they do it, especially, it could also lead them to earning more money, but I guess they just don't need to, right? Dokkan obviously makes up a large amount of revenue for Bandai Namco in terms of mobile games, right? In terms of mobile games, doesn't it make up like more than 30% of their revenue? So that's pretty wild, right? It makes up a ton of revenue, Dokkan Battle. So they just don't really have a reason to add any, like, pity system like that. I feel makes a lot of sense, but a lot of people are upset about this. Biggest L, Dokkan Assets is upset. The city of Final Fantasy, okay. The hell is this? Okay. Gotcha's gonna gotcha. Why? Yeah, a lot of people are just upset. Oh, I think they quoted the wrong tweet, but again, this is like, I feel like this is more something that's saying like a context of people living in Japan, right? Like, how do I explain it? Just it's more like of a way like Japanese players play, I guess, is what I'm presuming it is, rather than like the friend system thing, rather than it just being, globally received, because obviously this is something in Japan. So if that's why that doesn't make sense, that's why, right? But a lot of people are very sad about this, which I personally, I would love pity, but it is what it is, right? What are your guys' thoughts on the World Tournament mode, including the content of the mode and its functionality? So right here, as the attendees of this meeting are the top 15 ranking players of the most recent World Tournament, I'm sure you all have your own opinions about this mode, and we are in fact received a lot of questions and requests specifically about this mode from the attendees today. From what I'm able to discuss today, we as a development team understand the frustrations a lot of people have with this mode. We are currently considering which areas of the World Tournament mode to get rid of, and what areas we feel are still necessary. So as an answer to this question directly, as a development team, we're a bit unsure right now the best way to proceed. So again, we're looking to receive more direct feedback. Surveys important, they listen to our feedback, haha. On areas you'd like to see remain and gotten rid of as it pertains to this mode. I mean, me personally, get rid of the prelims and that like helps the mode so much. Like, the mode is still not fun, like I would say, but the prelims are just the worst. The prelims just absolutely hurt my like opinions and feelings about this mode like twice as much. If there's no prelims, I would feel a lot more better about the mode. Probably just because the prelims are so bad. It's like those really large map that they all run around. You have to chase all three of them. It's just a waste of time. It feels like it just. Ugh, I don't like it at all. This is the final question here, I believe. Yep. Okay. So, are there new plans to continue releasing new iterations of characters in the future who already have full representation of their animations in high quality? So let's say LR Beast Gohan's Active Skull. I feel like this is a big reason why this question was, requested, because, well, Beast Gohan, a lot of people are obviously disappointed about that. I'm assuming they did receive a lot of questions about Beast Gohan not being a transforming unit, and they probably just weren't able to answer that on the live stream, or weren't able to give information. They, and the truth is saying, hey, maybe they probably just, said, hey, we can't answer that question. Sorry. And that's that. At least we got some pretty good questions still, but they do. This is another thing that they do kind of confirm. Yeah, look, I have a feeling this question might be referencing to characters such as Ultimate Gohan, who were released as part of the Superhero Celebration, or Super... Okay, they know, bro. They know. Come on. They look at the replies in social media. They see all this stuff. They know, man. They know. Or Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who were released during the 7th anniversary. And we have actually gotten this question quite a lot. At this point in time, I can't really discuss details. However, we will absolutely continue to release new iterations of characters in the future who already have their full slew of animations in the game. Generally speaking, we have the character release schedule up until the 10th anniversary. It is 2 years from now, by the way. The 8th anniversary hasn't even started. More or less planned out already. And for anniversary celebrations, we will always be sure to release new characters who will live up to the hype and expectations of our users. In line with this, we understand how important it is for these characters to have a new and exciting animation, so we are in the process of concocting ways to make this happen for the characters referenced in this question. So, it could be even like Age of LR Gohan, Father-Son Kamehameha looks absurdly amazing, but then they release a new Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, voice active skill, maybe even Vegeta is in there shooting the Ki Blast, right? There's a lot of differences they could do. I mean, we even saw Goku and Gohan, the Tech LR from last Golden Week, doing the Father-Son Kamehameha in a completely different way than what we're used to. There's a lot of ways they can make it different. In fact, even the Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan 2 unit that are coming for the 8th anniversary could just be another unit that redoes the Year Number 1 scene from like the anime. It could literally just be an intro animation, right? They could just redo it again if they really want. I think that could be really cool. So it's good that they like confirmed that, okay, yeah, we could do another Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. We could always do another Beast Gohan. We could always do another Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, another Blue Gogeta, Blue Vegeta, right? They could even make up animations and stuff like that. So it is nice to hear that and see that, because these are characters that I feel like a lot of people are like, okay, we already got this unit with good animations, so we can't ever likely get them again. What are they going to do for them when they come out? They kind of confirmed, yes, it's possible. And I think it's a good way to end off this video here, saying, okay, that is actually possible there. So, yeah, there are a lot of very, very interesting questions here. And again, a lot of the times I do mention that, hey, leaving your feedback will give us good ideas on how to proceed with these things. So I feel like whenever we're able to leave a survey again, probably after the, I would say after the anniversary in the JP version, but the thing about that is we can't really leave feedback in Japanese unless you know someone that could translate it to Japanese for you. But let's say you're like on the, just our community in general. I don't know when the next survey would be, maybe even after Golden Week or something, like who knows. But in that next survey, definitely leave feedback based off of around these questions that they want more answers about. Such as, let's say, you know, the Extreme Z Awakening Step 2. Or such as the actual, where is it? Co-op mode, World Tournament, all that stuff, right? Definitely very important. And about the, if you're a really big fan about these characters that are unexciting, really someone that says, I don't want Goku every single time, you know, something like that, I guess, Vegito sucks, I don't love Vegito. You're wrong, by the way, but if you're someone like that, then leave your feedback to them and give their opinions, give your opinions on unhyped characters. But this is pretty cool. So let me know what you guys think about this. What was your favorite question? I guess is a good question to ask. It's kind of weird to say that, but whatever. And I'll catch you next time.